This is the INO 1 month overview reading for the month of March 2023. It's currently February 28th, 2023, 11:07 p.m. Eastern Time. INO at the time of this reading is currently $1.26. We originally recommended this Inovio shares back in, these posts used to have, Wix really kind of screwed with my early posts. They used to have the post date on them. This was, I believe, 2020, before there was a big spike. We advised very strong clairvoyant impression connecting the stock to a breakthrough in COVID-19. And then there was something later on regarding cancer cure for cancer, which is really right around the corner, guys. With that said, it was $11.99. It was roughly back here. Right, and there was a big spike not too far after, up into the $30 range. It's back in the headlights, it's back in focus, and we're going to start doing monthlies for this and providing public monthlies for people. It's been sponsored, so much appreciated to the sponsor out there, guys. As far as sponsors go, we have 5 spots available, and then the price here at Eso-Meta Forecasts is going up to $249 right now. It's $111. We've got 5 more spots available, so if you're interested in subscribing and sponsoring some monthly content, you want to sign up now before this turns to $249 and we'll never see $111 again. Just put the ticker in that you're interested in. It could be crypto too. Add to cart and subscribe. And that really supports the channel. It also sponsors content, not to mention that you get the paid version of the monthly, which doesn't come out on YouTube for everybody to see. That's the public version. The paid version, which when you pay for the reading, you get the paid version ahead of the public version, also has within it the best trades that we see for the month. All right, guys, so let's take a look here. Overall theme and behavior for INO, we have a notable decline. There's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. It's really a significant move to a prominent trough or low that'd stand out probably on a year-to-date chart. Behavior around the highest high, we have 3 pokes through the same price level, followed by a sharp decline. It's not always the same price level. It's always the same resistance. I have seen cases where it was a diagonal resistance. Usually it's horizontal price level, but I have seen cases where it's 3 pokes through a diagonal. And what I'm getting is that the highest probability of a high is here on the first. If we do see 2 more highs, based on this sorrow card, 3 pokes through the same price level followed by a sharp decline, then we most likely see it on the 10th and on the 14th, most likely. But I think this is the highest probability here on the first. As far as lows are concerned, highest probability of a low is here on the 22nd, as well as somewhere between the 29th and the 30th. Those are the most likely locations of the lowest low. And this does mark a pretty significant opportunity, trade opportunity on a monthly kind of swing scale, or like a year-to-date chart kind of swing trade. We'll get into the trades in the paid version at the end of this. With that said, guys, let's get into it. So on the first, we have a sideways fluctuating rally with what appears to be a crest midday, and that rally does proceed to decline. Looks like between midday on the first and the second, there's a bit of a decline, but then out of that decline, there's a pretty big move to the upside with a peak or crest at the end of the day on the second, or on the cusp. Pretty significant decline early in the day on the third. Matter of fact, there's a pretty significant trade opportunity there at the end of the day on the 3rd, and then again a trade opportunity on the 6th. But again, I'll get into that in the paid version. On the 6th, we have an important technical price level highlighted here. It'll stand out, a resistance level that'll stand out and be important in some way in the not too distant future, somewhere else in this chart. It'll end up being significant. There's a crest or a peak towards the middle part or early afternoon on the 7th, and we sell off pretty significantly from this overbought crest or peak there on the 7th. We sell off pretty significantly through multiple support levels. That decline turns into a notable move to the upside on the 8th. So out of a decline on the 8th, there's a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. Looks like there's a day trade there. I'll get into that in the paid version. On the 9th, we have a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time. And then it looks like another probable location of a highest high or just another prominent peak here towards probably towards the end of the day. And when we hit this key resistance level, there should be a notable amount of price movement either to reach it or out of it or both. Some volatility probably out of it. On the 13th, looks like we probably gapped down over the weekend, and on the 13th there's a prominent low or trough there early in the day, and we have a notable rally out of it. It's sideways rotation early in the day that ends with a fast sudden move higher. It looks like it really does start earlier in the day, that move to the upside. We established support somewhere between the 13th and the 14th, and then there's another notable move higher on the 14th. After establishing that sort of support, a notable move higher that would stand out on a 1 month chart. And after that move higher, we established support at a higher level. That's really the wealth card there. Looks like the last location where we're most likely to have a highest high, but it's not as strong of a possibility as the first. The first is the strongest. Then there's the 10th and the 14th, and then there's maybe on the 7th, but unlikely. On the 15th, we're bound by the upper end of a range, and there's a significant decline off of a peak or crest about early afternoon there on the 15th. We decline overnight or early in the morning on the 16th, and that creating a prominent trough or low there early in the day on the 16th, and there's a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher there on the 16th. I'm advised not to chase that rally. We come to a resistance level either there on the 16th or the 17th, a resistance level that'll stand out on a one month chart, from which point we decline with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Looks like we have a pretty big drop over the weekend again on the from the 17th into the 20th. And then out of like a decline or out of a really scary drop on the morning of the 20th, there's a notable move higher even in the face of maybe some overwhelming headwinds or just like maybe the technicals look really ugly, but we move higher anyways. On the 21st, the move higher takes us to resistance, which we then turn into key support. That's on the, it's key resistance, which we turn into new support. That's on the scale of a 1 month. And then it looks like towards the end of the day, I'm advised to open up some protection. I'll get into that in the paid version, what to do with that. The following day, there's like a gap down to reach a lowest low early in the morning on the 22nd, and that decline into that lowest low offers an opportunity as well. On the 23rd, there's a period of sideways. It's kind of like a holding pattern almost with a pop and drop in there. Multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance there. At least on the scale of a 1 day chart, there's going to be multiple failed attempts to break through the same key resistance. And then on the and then on the 22nd, we go from this lowest low to a prominent crest or peak. So we make a new low and a lowest low, at which point when we make a new high, it becomes a prominent crest or peak. And we should see that take place towards the end of the day on the 22nd into the 23rd. Holding pattern kind of behavior with a pop and drop on the 23rd, and then a period of volatility on the 24th. Looks like first we reach for a key. There's a prominent crest on the 24th, either midday or towards the end of the day. So there's volatility on the 23rd and a sharp drop somewhere between the 23rd and the 24th that'll stand out in the midst of that volatility. But there's also a rally on a 1 day chart for the 24th that increases with the momentum moving forward into a local high for the day. And it'll be a key technical price level as well. There's a crest there, and then on the 27th, we do some sideways rotation along a key support level on a 1 month scale, increasing with bearish momentum as we move forward in time, taking us to a prominent low or trough on the 28th, out of which we rally to meet a prominent crest or peak midday to late in the day. There's trade advisement there as well, which I'll get into in the paid version. And then we have like a lowest low somewhere between the 30th and between the 28th and the 30th. I'm sensing most likely between the 29th and the 30th, somewhere in there, like on the cusp. But it could be anywhere between the 28th and the 29th. Highest probability of the lowest low is the 22nd. I think we revisited probably there on the cusp of the 29th and the 30th. But on the 29th, there's a notable move to the upside. A day trade opportunity, which I'll describe in more detail in the paid version. And then on the cusp, there's probably a gap down on the night of the 29th into the 30th. We rally out of that on the 30th. That rally ends though, and there's erratic ends on the 30th, and then there's erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level on the 31st, in the midst of which we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. It looks like that crest is early in the day. The following month's sneak preview card is an unexpected, improbable, or I should say an unexpected move to the upside, and it to stand out on a year-to-date chart. That's INO for March 2023. Stay tuned if you got the paid version. We're getting into the best trades. Guys, make sure to follow the rule of karma. It is so important. It's the whole purpose of this channel. The rule of karma, guys. If you don't know what that is, please check out the video on our YouTube channel explaining the rule of karma explained. It's really it's critical that you understand and follow that rule of karma every single time you profit from this information in order to not cut off the flow of profits. This is holy information. It's coming from a holy source. It can't be used for, like, you know, wicked purposes. It can't be used for selfish purposes alone. I mean, it's important to take care of yourself, but you must make sure you're following the rule of karma. And what that is 5% of the profits that you make from the information in the video should be donated here on our resources tab to one of these charities, or if there's somewhere else that you'd rather donate it or pay it forward, by all means, but 5% should be paid forward. 5% of the profits should be paid back to the channel. Those are our angel investors. Those are the people that really stand out among the flock, because they're fighting the good fight, my friends. They're making money using holy information, and then they're taking that money and they're making the world a better place. How could you go wrong? How could you go wrong? And because of that, my friends, what they put out, they get back tenfold. Not threefold like many karmic laws would say, but tenfold, my friends. So make sure you follow that rule every single time. You don't want to cut off that flow of abundance. And thank you for all those of you, more and more people that I'm seeing doing that. It really is it's extremely important for the channel's success. And it's just an amazing feeling to know that there's people out there in the world who can be, they can be left to make up their mind whether to do the right thing or not. And what do? They do the right thing when nobody's watching. They do the right thing. There are people in the world like that. There's many people in the world like that. My friend, if you don't believe me, start being one of those people. You will find more of them in the world. I promise you that. Like attracts like, which is why follow the rule of karma. Abundance mind will bring you more abundance, my friends. With that said, I'll see you on the next one.